Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Imperial Dane, with another Propagandacast for you, my viewers. And today we have a 1 vs 1 on wrecked train. Yes, it is wrecked train, since I do believe it has been some time since we actually last had a match on that. So let's have a look at our contestants. In the northern corner we have our old friend Massmilano, ready to fight for Uncle Sam, leading the 1st Infantry Division in the fight against elements of the 159th Panzergrenadier regiment. I believe its name is Karmawillgetyou, ready to hold this small railroad junction, which has been heavily bombed in an attempt to slow down German supply lines and reinforcements, which of course it did quite nicely. Of course, trouble was, once the Americans then had to leave France and get their own supplies, they rather had no railroad system to rely on. So that was a bit of a double-edged sword. Anyhow, let's get started. Kettenkrad for Mr. Karmawillgetyou, and probably see a Panzergrenadier team on the way as well. Engineers moving out to set up a barracks, while a 2nd team on the way. Nothing new there. And while we're at it, let's have a look at the map. For those that don't know, we have a rather open ground, or at least rather line spaced, with some heavy cover in between here, right next to a victory point. Not many higher yield points, in fact mostly low and medium, most of them being right near the center, and most of those in fact being munitions. The only medium yield fuel point is right here in the east, quite nicely separated, and there's another low one right next to the other victory point. Either side are there, but the one in the east is less defensible since there's no real buildings, whereas the other one here is under cover from this Pitlevsky factory structure and can be covered with a solid machine gun position. And this area is generally more defensible, as well as there are more of this Pitlevsky. I'm not entirely sure who he is. Anyhow, engineers sneaking about. No solid ground, mostly the flanks so far. Kettenkrad on the move. Panzergrenadiers now moving out. 1st team with Gewehr 43 upgrades. We'll see if they'll be engaging some engineers. There certainly looks like they'll be close there. Only a wrecked train in between. And there we go, sneaking past the burning wreckage and engaging the engineers, who are taking a point, rendering them more suspect to fire. But there we go, stopping their capturing. And now opening fire. Riflemen moving in, leaving the Panzergrenadiers to pull back from the cover of the train, since Riflemen would be able to move in. The other Panzergrenadier team is around here, not really helping though for some reason, apparently just deciding to cap around instead of actually aiding. But now both are pulling back, going perhaps for this building, or perhaps the cover nearby, we don't know. Panzergrenadier team down, Riflemen out in the open, and the Panzergrenadier team is moving into this barracks of a rather large kind, and this forces the Riflemen to move out, since they can't really deal with all these Panzergrenadiers in a building. Very nice job from Mr. Karmawillgetyou. I'm not entirely sure, probably some shout of defiance. Karmawillgetyou, Herr Yankee. Or something like that, I can't say. Panzergrenadiers and 3rd team of Panzergrenadiers engaging the engineers once more, forcing them back. But the munitions point has been taken, and we see Riflemen moving in here. Panzergrenadiers out in the open, they will have to find some sort of cover, and there we go, some hedges and some shrubbery bushes and some fences of some sort, but Riflemen are in heavy cover. The other Panzergrenadier team are here. They could have helped flank the Riflemen, but no. Panzergrenadiers pulling back, continuing the hunt for the engineers. One already cut down by accurate fire, one, and the rest are retreating. Now Riflemen are moving in, getting close to these Panzergrenadiers. Another Panzergrenadier hits the no, it was a Rifleman in fact. Heavy fire being exchanged, but this is looking bad for the Panzergrenadiers. 2 down already, and another Rifleman down, but I'm not entirely sure who will win. Will these other Panzergrenadiers help? No, they are going for this strategic point, leaving the others to be dealt with by the Riflemen. Perhaps not the best choice. It looks like a Panzergrenadier team may be lost. Yes, indeed. Not too good. A bit bad unit preservation there, and certainly not enough coordination between the different teams. I really think he should have not been capturing there, but moving them, instead leaving the capturing to the Kettenkrad. Seems a bit unfocused really everywhere else but where his troops need to be. He might want to actually choose a side to focus on. Looks like a Rifleman team might be lost. No, it actually makes it out of there alive, in fact capturing a point, so very well job done. Panzergrenadiers now moving for this point, apparently not remembering that they're bad at capturing territory and much better at fighting. Now riflemen moving in, and these Panzergrenadiers are continuing to seize the point instead of setting up in combat position, and now are getting surrounded. Oh dear, Mr. Karma, Mr. K. Hauptsturmführer K, what on earth are you doing now? You're losing your men again. Heavy losses for the Panzergrenadiers. Once more, one team forced to retreat. Will it also be lost, or will it make it out of there by the grace of the fatherland? Apparently so. But these Panzergrenadiers are left behind. Veterans one up for the riflemen, and Panzergrenadiers running the gauntlet, taking heavy fire from the riflemen. Gewehr 43s up, and we see a fresh Panzergrenadier team out to replace the first one, but no structure so far. Nothing to actually support them. No half-tracks, no scout cars, no armored cars, no any car. And a bit of a breather there. Panzergrenadiers engaging once more. Not in good cover, but they are firing at the point where the riflemen aren't really in cover. So alright, but now further riflemen are moving in, forcing the Panzergrenadiers into a retreat, and there are no comrades near them. Apparently moving out here to deal with these engineers. The American really forcing the Panzer Elite forces, the 156th Panzergrenadier Regiment, really to spread out, which is not perhaps the best idea. Instead, he should be focusing his Panzergrenadiers on the rather spread out Americans, dealing with the teams one at a time, killing them and really forcing them back. But instead, he spread his forces out everywhere, including the Kettenkraut, which is rather exposing it to enemy fire. Not a good tactic or sound strategy. He might want to work on that for future games. And we also see defensive operations up already, and a logistic company going up as well. And now these Panzergrenadiers are just hanging about instead of actually trying to do something. And one team is being pulled back as well, really minimizing his field presence with the Panzergrenadiers. And oh dear, he's really losing a lot of territory at this as well, forcing the Kettenkraut to really cap even more. Can't say I feel that this is a good and proper move. And sticky bombs being upgraded, really expecting some sort of early vehicles, but really so far he won't be seeing that right away. And now the Panzergrenadiers in the south are moving out. Apparently haven't gotten the logistic company up, but I can't really feel again that it was perhaps not a wise move to really leave behind that many troops to construct, while there are so few out on the field with that many riflemen out there. And one Panzergrenadier goes down since they're running around out in the open, not using cover and not waiting for help from their comrades. I'm not really sure what his modus operandi is, what his strategy or tactic is. It seems a bit blurred at the moment. And riflemen moving in, Panzergrenadiers perhaps moving in for this building again, which does seem to have done them quite well so far, which is certainly not a bad tactic. But again, he probably should be focusing his troops a bit more when there's so many riflemen out and so concentrated at times, and even more particular when they actually spread out. Riflemen retreating since they can't deal with this, certainly interesting. But now moving out and beginning to capture territory once more, not dealing with any of these rear guards. And we see these Panzergrenadiers reinforcing. Not entirely sure what he's up to. Again, he's completely spreading out, leaving his troops very vulnerable to any sort of American counterattack, which I'm pretty sure will happen any time. And now he's stopped capturing the fuel point. Why? He's apparently very keen on harassing the fuel points, and apparently not realizing that he also needs to ensure he has an own trail of supplies and his troops are actually close enough to actually help each other if they come under attack. Instead, one blow from Mr. Massmilano's 1st Infantry Division and all of his Panzergrenadiers will be forced back to the base in a full rout. And he's not really able to put up any sort of defensive posture or line. And we have one Panzergrenadier going down since they are trying to take a point. And while he doesn't really have any fuel points, at the same time Mr. Karma does not either, and in fact he has less manpower. He's suffered much more heavily, so he really needs to be focusing on something, but that focus seems to be lacking. And I know I'm repeating this, but I can't really stress it enough. You really need some sort of focus, some sort of idea how you want to grasp this, and rendering your Panzergrenadiers easy targets for a large rifleman squad is not the key to actually winning over them, believe it or not. And now we see 4-man teams, which certainly can't be all bad, but at the same time will certainly force him to pay a lot more in reinforcements, in particular considering the current situation, which is sending his men out piecemeal. Riflemen now being engaged, Panzergrenadiers out in the open against veterans. One rifleman team. This could really end up badly for the Panzergrenadiers. trying to jump around a bit, and we see another Panzergrenadier team finally moving in to actually assist another Panzergrenadier team, and we have something up here. Engineers cut down by the Panzergrenadiers, both wounded, one apparently reaching out for something, perhaps grasping for the point in the hopes that something will happen. But sadly he is not close enough or in any state to actually seize territory. And so far Mr. Massmilano's grasp on the victory points has been ultimate. In fact, he has 500 points, whereas Mr. K has barely anything. Now it looks like he's actually coordinating the Panzergrenadiers a bit. Riflemen caught out in the open between all of these 8 Panzergrenadiers with their Gewehr 43s, cutting down some riflemen who are now themselves out in a bad position. Light hands are half track, but it's a bit too close, I think. And there we go. It gets sticky bombed, although it managed to kill some riflemen before they are forced to retreat. So not all bad, but you really should be careful about getting your half tracks too close. They don't have to be all up in your face, in particular when they are using focus fire. Then you can easily place them as a range and have them just blast away the enemy from a safe distance, even snipe them, I suppose. Riflemen retreating in the face of the Panzergrenadiers, and we do seem to have a temporary stabilization, and we see that pineapple grenades are going out alongside an anti-tank gun, which will certainly be used to knock out that half-track. Possibly both engines are damaged. We're not seeing anything to really help them, and let's have a look at Mr. K. Looks like he has gone for possibly a doctrine, but I can't really see it. It could possibly be the Luftwaffe, or it could be Scorched Earth, I think. Hard to say, but then we can always have a look at the Kettenkrad if I can find it, and he's gone for Tank Destroyer, which seems a bit curious considering the situation. Of course it allows his Kettenkrad to actually repair, but he's not using it to repair, instead he's using Panzergrenadiers to repair. So I'm not entirely sure what his plan is, and we see these Panzergrenadiers have getting knocked out. And looks like this Kettenkrad is exposed. Will it be knocked out? Oh dearie me. Half track is not repaired, done, and firing away, but riflemen are sneaking about in a large maneuver. Anti-tank gun blasting away, sticky bomb going off on the half track. It was way too close to the front line, and half track goes out. Grenade goes off as well, killing further Panzergrenadiers, who are now exposed to flamethrower fire, but the flamethrowers troops are pulling back. Panzergrenadiers forced to run the gauntlet. Looks like one team might be lost. Other Panzergrenadier team trying to cover, but grenade going off. Will it harm or kill? No, it goes too far, but oh dear, it actually managed to kill one, throwing him into the railway car. Only one man left, and this is horrible losses for the Panzergrenadier commander.
Ammunition stores are under attack.
Trying to repair this Kettenkrad while he's seizing this western victory point was really not looking good. He really hasn't managed to secure any point of the map, and really told the American player that this is mine. He's been too spread out in his forces and not really been good at coordinating them, I feel. While as Mr. Massmilano has been able to strike from everywhere and capture the rest. It's really been a bit bold, and of course good mine usage so far. The only thing that speaks in Mr. K's favor is of course garrisoning, which he's been able to use quite nicely. But honestly not entirely sure why he's gone tank destroying this early on. Now we see incendiary grenades. Not really what I would suggest at this moment. And now the half-track is getting fired on again. Panzergrenadiers are not really there to help. Why they pull back, though? I'm not sure. They could have, for example, sat up right here and been able to deal with these riflemen quite nicely. And the sticky bomb goes off on the Kettenkrad and destroying the engine once more. The thing is on fire, and the driver is desperately trying to sort of shake it onwards, but not really much help. Panzergrenadiers moving in, possibly trying to repair it, instead of actually fighting these riflemen, which they might have had a chance against. And now they'll be hit from all sides. Even these engineers could move into this building, and Kettenkrad not looking good. Will really need to get out of there. Panzergrenadiers moving about instead of just standing up and taking accurate shots. And there we go. Panzergrenadiers really